Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. Today I want to share with you some information about Ukraine. So this basically is saying that there were some Russian missiles that hit apparently a shipbuilding center. This was in the city of Nikolaev. If you know, Nikolaev is in the south of Ukraine. Is practically next to Kherson. So if you see here, this is the area of Nikolaev. It's a medium-sized city, probably around the same size as Odessa, so it's medium-sized city. They don't have a lot of big population there. It's mainly industrial population. So here is Kherson. In this area here is Kherson, and next to Kherson is Nikolaev. So they hit here. Apparently they have some industrial shipbuilding place next to the river. So that's where these missiles hit. So the mayor of the city said it was industrial infrastructure facility. They are saying that Nikolaev has faced some Russian strikes recently. And then they said this thing that was a little bit strange to me, because the Russian military never declared this goal. They say the Russian military has declared a goal to cut off Ukraine's entire Black Sea coast all the way to the Romanian border. That is merely speculation. If you remember, at the start of the special military operation, they stated clearly that they wanted to liberate the Donbass, which is the Lugansk and Donetsk regions, even though there had been some advances outside of the Donbass, as for example the southern part of Ukraine all the way to Kherson. This was not clearly stated, but is seen as a strategic region because Crimea was depending on water from a region here, and this region was controlled by Ukraine, so they were cutting off the water. I'm not saying it is impossible that the Russians will go all the way and cut off completely the Black Sea coast from Ukraine. I'm just saying they didn't say it clearly. So that was never mentioned. That's all I'm saying. Maybe things will change, but from the start it wasn't a goal. No? The main thing was to demilitarize the Ukrainian state. So that's what they're doing currently. And They are just talking that they want to occupy Odessa, Nikolaev. Is not clear. Apparently, the Russian missiles destroyed a depot for anti-Harpoon missiles systems delivered to Ukraine by NATO. That's what this happened in Nikolaev and Odessa. And then they are talking about this counteroffensive from Ukraine. If you remember, there was a story that said the defense minister of Ukraine said that Kiev was raising 1 million army to take the south. Only recently they have said that it won't happen. Both the 1 million man army won't happen, and the counteroffensive, it won't happen. They back down on the at least in the communication. But at this point already the Russian army already sent reinforcements to this area, and they are just saying that they are practically reinforcing all the south, so that includes Kherson, Melitopol, all this region here of the south. So they are speculating that this is kind of forcing the Russian military to kind of spread their forces, and then they came again with some very strange declarations that I don't know where they get this information, honestly. For example, this one says Ukraine says its forces still retain control of 2 small villages in the Luhansk region. I don't see how is that possible, but let's take a look at the Luhansk region. So the Luhansk region, the last portion of it, let's see if it's possible to Luhansk Oblast. So this is the Oblast, so this is the borders, and if you remember, there was the latest big battle was in Lysychansk and Severodonetsk. So I don't know what can they be holding. Maybe it's a very small village, if anything, because currently operations are taking place here in this area, the area of Sibersk, and also around the area of Bakhmut. So all this area is seeing a lot of heavy fighting, and also around the south, and this is in Donetsk. If you see in the Donetsk, they are currently reinforcing this area because the Ukrainian army has been bombarding, shelling all these areas. So there was a visit recently by the General Shoigu, and he decided that they are going to increase the operations here, so to push the Ukrainian army out of this region. Usually I think they are bombarding Ukrainian army from this area of Avdiivka, so I assume that they are going to attack this region here. So that's kind of the logical thing to do. And there is also this new, if you heard about this, that apparently one of the HIMARS that was sent by the US, it was destroyed. There's reports of this. So they put like a lot of different news in this area. For example, this comes from Dmitry Medvedev, where basically Ukrainian officials were saying that they were going to strike the bridge linking Crimea and Russia. He says that this will trigger devastating consequences. So this is also running around the news. Is basically is very interesting the position of the United States, that if anyone doubts that the United States is running the show, they are giving permission to the Ukrainian military to attack Crimea. So talking about independence for Ukraine, talking about autonomy, nothing like that. Everything is run from the United States. So that's that is definitively a bad idea, but at this point I don't think it makes a difference. Like I said, the solution for this conflict is the peace, and the Ukrainian army in this point is unable to fight anymore. It will collapse sooner or later, and it will be very sudden. I can't predict exactly when this is going to happen, but there is no way to train fast enough the numbers that the Ukrainian army needs to continue fighting. So even if they send all these weapons, there is not enough trained soldiers able to use these weapons in an effective way. So I don't know exactly what are they going to do. The Ukrainian state is just not caring about these people, in my opinion. You know, they continue to do all these very strange things when the easiest solution is in front of them. You know, just sit with the Russians, negotiate peace. This, like I have repeatedly said, the war could end tomorrow if the Ukrainian state decided to sit and negotiate with Russia. There will come a point when probably Russia will be just able to dictate terms. At this point, the Ukraine has nothing to show for negotiations basically at this point. But at least the fighting will stop, and that will be something very good for people, because I don't think it's necessary for people to continue dying, both soldiers and civilians. It would be best for everyone if peace was reached, in my opinion. So let me know what you think about it, and I'm asking again for your help to support my work. As a content creator, I have suffer from a lot of censorship, especially in the platform of YouTube. So you have the opportunities to support my work in different ways. I detail this in the description of every video, whatever platform you're watching this video now. I recommend you to use Wise. It's a very easy to use platform, but there are other options depending on what is more convenient to you. And you can also support my work in other ways, for example, liking the video, share it in social media, and subscribing to the channel. Only approximately 20% of people who watches my video is subscribed, so that will really help me to grow my channels. Okay, so hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.